women's title match. Britt Baker defends the belt successfully, as we kind of thought she would, against Kris Statlander, who put in an excellent showing. I don't really have any complaints about this match. I actually thought it was excellent, a really good women's match, and it stood up well on a card that was full of very, very loaded, very talented, and obviously very motivated wrestlers. You know, that was the other thing. That was the other thing I noticed about this show, was that the wrestlers seemed even more motivated to do well for the overall product more so than themselves. Sometimes there is a critique with AEW wrestlers that a lot of them are trying to get their shit in and show themselves off. That wasn't as much the case with this match and quite a lot of the matches on this card. I'm not all in on Britt Baker like everyone else is. I like her. I think her character's great. I still think her in-ring work is a little bit, but this is definitely a massive step up from what she used to be. This is so far removed from that garbage with Big Swole. This is excellent. She looked great. My only critique is she's a rubbish heel. I don't believe she's a heel. And a lot of that's, you know, the crowd obviously supporting her. And you can't say to the crowd, stop cheering because I'm a heel. But if you're good enough at your job, they should boo you anyway. And Kris Statlander is not vibrant enough to get across the fact that she's a big plucky face. She was great and I love her. She's beautiful. And I think she's by far and away the best thing that the entire Best Friend Shenanigans group has got going on by a margin. She's the only star, in my opinion, out of that lot, other than Trent when he wrestles. And obviously he hasn't been around for a while due to injury, I believe. So she did great, but it's a very weak character portrayed by a wonderful talent. So, you know, maybe a few more nuances and things like that. It's great on the indies and it's funny, spaceships and aliens and stuff. It doesn't, for me, translate well enough, particularly if you're not going to back her up with a production like you do for Jungle Boy Luchasaurus. They get the production values. She doesn't as much. So, but I thought the match was excellent. Any thoughts on the women's title match?
It's kind of hard to get an alien gimmick over. Yeah, that was really good to see. But yeah, it's hard to get an alien gimmick over. You made the joke, you know, she's from the Andromeda Galaxy, and that's shit because the first three were great. Mass Effect reference for anyone who doesn't get that. If you don't, you're not a nerd and fuck off. We hate you.
We're nerds.
Nerdometer. But yeah, the match was fine. I think there was one kind of stomp that looked a little weak close to the end, but that'd be the
one off the apron was the only time where I thought I would like to see that more physical, but that was totally redeemed with a masterful curb stomp later on.
Yeah, that's like a little minor.
We were having a good time, weren't we? Because there were so many homages to different wrestlers. You had the Pittsburgh Sunrise. Come on, man.
That was great.
You know,
the scissor kick.
Yeah, curb stomp, which means Seth Rollins obviously confirmed for AEW at some point. You know, it wouldn't surprise me the way they're going if he turned up one day. Although he does feel like if anyone's alive for Vinnie Mac,
he's a WWE guy.
Yeah, definitely so. And we're going to discuss that as well after the podcast. There'll be a special video that will be coming about that.
But I think the match was fine. Because there was only 2 women matches on the card, but to be fair, the Battle Royal did have 21 women, which is great. So we did get a lot of showcase of women. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah. But it was nice to see a showcase from all the women and their champion picking up a dominant victory. And we find out who our next number 1 contender is, which is going to be hella great.